Alex, I spent 45 minutes this morning looking for my favorite marking gauge, only to find it tucked behind my ear. If that doesn't sum up the glamour of shop life, I don't know what does.
At least it wasn't the pencil under your hat again. Welcome back to the TigerDen, everyone. It's Friday, July 31st, and Tiger is officially aging out of his own memory, but luckily, he's still got his hands.
Barely. But they're busy. We've got a packed daily digest today. We're talking about plastic that acts like metal, why having a small following is actually a superpower, and how the next generation is basically dunking on our career trajectories.
Let's start with the gear. You've been nerding out over this new 3D printing filament, and I need you to explain it to me without using the word polymer 40 times.
I'll try, but no promises. Prusa dropped this P11 nylon made from castor oil. Now, usually, when you 3D print a part, the layers are like a stack of Pringles. It looks solid, but hit it from the side and the whole thing shatters. This stuff, the layers fuse like they were born together. It's incredibly slippery and tough. I printed a replacement gear for an old sander last night, and honestly, the gear might outlive the motor.
Castor oil? So we're basically printing with bean juice now?
High performance, industrial grade bean juice. And for the folks doing the heavy duty electrical work, there's this Obsidian FR nylon from 3DX Tech. It's flame retardant. If you're making custom junction boxes or something that sits near an engine, you don't want it turning into a puddle of goo the second things get warm.
Speaking of puddles, what is this quad head thing I'm seeing? The Lightmake L4? It looks like a robot spider having a choreographed dance.
It's a double IDEX setup. Imagine two people sawing a log, but they never bump into each other, and they work at 4 times the speed. It's a print farm in a single box. For a small shop owner, that's the difference between printing one custom bracket a day and printing a whole inventory while you're out getting a sandwich.
So, more time for sandwiches, less time waiting for the ding. That's a win. But shifting gears from high-tech tools to the people actually using them, we've got some big news on the education front.
This one actually makes me want to do a little jig. The Pell Grant changes are finally catching up to reality. For years, the government basically said, we'll help you pay for a 4-year degree in 14th century poetry, but if you want to be a master plumber, you're on your own.
And now?
Now, those grants are opening up for short-term vocational programs. It's a massive bridge for kids who have the talent but don't want to start their adult lives with a mortgage-sized debt before they even buy their first multimeter. It's about time we stop treating the trades like a plan B.
Don't tell the poets, T, but you're right. And there's this 22-year-old kid in the news today, a master carpenter competing internationally.
Man, he makes me feel like I've been napping for 2 decades. 22 years old, runs his own business, and he's representing the US. His big takeaway wasn't about how to sharpen a chisel. It was about learning the business. You can be the best wood joiner in the world, but if you can't read a contract or manage a P&L statement, you're just an artist with a very expensive hobby.
It's that longevity piece. He said mastery comes from repetition, but staying in the game comes from understanding the why. Tiger, you've told me before that your first shop failed because you were too busy making perfect things and forgot to send the invoices.
Stop digging up the skeletons, Alex. But yeah, I spent 3 weeks on a coffee table and charged the guy for 20 hours because I felt guilty. I was basically paying the customer to take my furniture.
Which leads us perfectly into the Maker Mogul segment. Everyone's obsessed with hitting 1 million followers, but today's digest says that's kind of a waste of time.
It's the Nano-Influencer boom. If you've got 2,000 followers who actually care about which welding mask you use, you're worth more to a brand than a celebrity with 5 million followers who are just there for the selfies. Nearly half of marketing spend this year is going to creators under 20K.
Because trust is the new currency. If you tell me a specific saw blade doesn't wander, I believe you because I've seen your crooked cuts from the early days.
Hey, my cuts are straight as an arrow now. Mostly. But the trick is the AI toolkit. I'm using things like Claude to turn my messy scribbles into captions, and there are tools now that handle the DM flood. The 50 people asking, what's that blue tool? While you're trying to actually finish the job.
Creator Flow is their name, right? It's basically a digital apprentice that doesn't drink all your coffee and never shows up late.
Exactly. It lets you stay in the shop instead of being glued to a screen until your eyes turn into pixels.
Okay, let's talk weekend projects. I'm looking at this 2x4 patio chair. It looks surprisingly not like a pile of construction lumber.
That's the magic of it. You take the humblest piece of wood in the world, the 2x4, and with some clever pocket holes and a bit of sanding, you get something that looks like it belongs in a boutique hotel. It's a perfect sanity project. Low stakes, high reward.
And for the people who want to play with mud, you've got the Scratch Coat outdoor kitchen.
Look, everyone wants those fancy stone veneer islands for their grill, but the quotes I see are jaw-dropping. If you can build a simple frame and slap on a scratch coat of mortar, you're 80% of the way there. It's like frosting a cake, but the cake is made of concrete and the frosting is stone.
Your analogies are getting weirder as the episode goes on.
It's the sawdust in my lungs, Alex. It's purely recreational.
Before we wrap up, we've got to mention the full DIY minimalist cabin. That's not a weekend project, Tiger. That's a take a month off and hope your spouse doesn't leave you project.
Fair point. But even if you don't build the whole thing, watching how they manage a structural build from the dirt up is the best education you can get. Seeing how the forces move through the wood, how the roof ties into the walls, it changes how you look at every small shelf you build afterward.
So, the takeaway for today? Whether you're 3D printing gears with bean juice or building a chair out of studs, the goal is the same. Just keep moving.
Yeah, and maybe check behind your ear before you spend an hour looking for your tools.
Wise words. Head over to the TigerDen learning paths if you want the blueprints for that patio chair or the guides on those trade certifications.
Keep the chips flying, folks. We'll see you in the shop.